This one, well, Sir James Hardy, I was speaking to him about it, and he would like to see her used as a floating classroom, so that school children would go and sit on the Fairlie, do their lessons, and just travel around as they were having a lesson. Sounds a pretty nice way to go to school.
That's a great way to go to school.
Yes.
You can see it there as the Dar Mlodziezy comes up to the, well, we lost it there, but coming up to the bridge, just the reason why they had to wait for low tide for the tallest of these tall ships to get under the bridge. There really isn't much room to move there. They're 45 to 50 foot, rather metre up the mast, the main masts.
I think they were our Young Endeavour people up the mast, or our Lewin dancers. I'm not quite sure which ones.
It's hard to tell. With 200 of them, it's Hobson's choice a bit. But obviously, with the bigger ones like that, the Polish one.
She's a fully rigged ship, which means she has 3 masts. She has all the square sails on each of the masts. There's a square sail.
Hang on, that's not a barkentine or a brigantine or a brig or a bark. That's a fully rigged ship, is it?
Well, I'm a little bit confused about this because a fully rigged ship has 3 masts and the brigantine has 3 masts. So fully rigged, I think, because she has squares on each mast. It's been interesting trying to learn what they all mean.
Here we go. We're on board. We were on board the Dar. That, in fact, is a shot of the Opera House from one of our cameras on board the Dar Mlodziezy, which is.
The captain of the first fleet of the Soren Larsen told me, "No, you get it right. It's 5. She crosses 5 yards. If there's 5 yards down the mast, she crosses 5 yards." So there you go.
Oh gosh, I'm sure they're checking you out too, Janine, on that. We've got 2 or 3 cameras on board that boat, and of course Bruce Stannard and Karl Kozelnicki, who are going to be sailing out. I'm not sure how they're going to get back tonight. They're going out through the heads with some of our crews. There are the handsome boys, Janine.
Yes,
you were talking about those young men.
And hopefully they're in readiness to go up the top of the mast, Ray. Probably as they go under, I'm sure they are. See, they've got all their harnesses on. What a wonderful shot. They're just all ready to hook up as they climb. It's like climbing Mount Everest, I think. You just keep going up and up and up those ratlins until you get to the designated position.
Joanne Zawicki, the producer who was with you on that particular one, is looking very affectionately at those young men on board the Polish boat.
Hamish is a bit of a movie star, I think. He's rather gorgeous. But probably once they get under the bridge, you'll see all these white suits going up the ratlins, up to the different positions on the mast, and then she'll be fully dressed.
All right. Well, let's take a break. We are going to wait. All right. We're going to try and establish our link there with Bruce Stannard. It's very difficult with all these masts and all the machinery around today, plus of course the bridge, to try and get we've got some pictures there of course, but to try and get connection with our men on board there.
He's a wonderful man, this Captain Lester Victorich, who's been captain for quite a long time aboard the Dar. He's had a lot of receptions on this aft deck of the Dar Mlodziezy in each port, and had many guests, and so people have been impressed by his sense of humour as he's given away gifts and received them. He's been a bit of a favourite, Captain Victorich of the Dar Mlodziezy.
You regard it very much as a Polish diplomat, wouldn't you, at a job like this? It's,
absolutely.
It's so much public relations apart from a training vessel.
I think so. In fact, when Australia won the America's Cup, the American ambassador said, "You've done more for Australia in a few months than we've been able to do in 20 years in American diplomacy." And I think something like this, which it's very sort of friendly and relaxed, it really does a lot for the country's
wonderful
image.
shot, Ben. It's very hard with the cameras, of course, to get a real impression, but as she just sneaks away under the bridge, there with all those cars
to spare, I think.
Oblivious to what this beautiful creature that's going underneath them. The bridge tonight will be closed for that period of time, and it's of course low tide, the only reason it can get through there, but it'll be closed tonight to traffic at around 9 o'clock. I think from about 8:30 till 9:30 they're closing the bridge because of the fireworks that are going to be let off.
That last picture we saw, Ray, was the Shabab Oman, and she's owned by the Sultan of Oman, and all her crew, no, she does have some British officers aboard as well, I'm sorry, but she, the Sultan's Navy, there's only 1 million people in the Sultanate of Oman, but they wear these, what's called a dish dash, which is like a flowing white robe, and little round blue hats, and they look rather special.
It was, of course, only in 1932 when Bradfield, the engineer, completed the Sydney Harbour Bridge, that the tall ships had to worry about that at low tides and high tides. They just went around to and picked up their cargoes around there and delivered cargoes and came under there, but it would have been no trouble at all. There you go. There's a lot of activity on board the Dar Mlodziezy. Hard work.
It's a bit of a wait. I suppose they've been very patient, haven't they? But still, they're saying goodbye to Sydney, which is a sad thing for them, I'm sure.
Do you know where they're going from here? Are they going home or going?
I'm not positive. I believe they're going up to Brisbane and then they'll continue their world tour. Yes. So,
beautiful shot. Now, as you say, they'd be motoring there. The instruction was to try and keep it down to 4 knots, and they'd normally do 6 knots under motoring. But I'm sure they'd like to hoist those sails and get underway.
And get underway.
Yes.
Doesn't she look magnificent when she's
All right, let's take a break now, and with those beautiful shots, we'll come back in just one moment with, hopefully we'll get to talk to Bruce Stannard and Carl on board that boat.